been a little while. Let's give you a little bit of a brief history of what's been going on for the past couple of months. So as you can see, our living room has been a little bit of a demolition zone. So what we figured out is while we were trying to get all of this hooked up so that we could go hook up our dryer, is that all these exterior walls that's facing, of course, the outside of the house do not have insulation. So what we decided to do is we decided to go through the walls, just like we're doing right here with this, take out those boards, take off the cheesecloth, take off everything, and we essentially just gutted these walls. And those boards have been used for something else, which I'll be recording a little bit later. And now, we'll say hi to Van. That's our new addition to the family. There's going to be another video on that later. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how we can get everything back up together, figure out this wiring system, figure out how we're going to get everything connected to this.
Because the light wasn't working on that.
Right.
Which means it wasn't hooked up right.
So then we figured out that there were a little bit of faulty wiring from the first people who have done this place. So, well, first of all, let me go ahead and, so what we're going to do right here is, this outlet was already there. So we decided that we were going to replace the covers and put a new box there. And this whole area right here where this window is where our couch is going to go. So we decided that we were going to add another breaker box to the other side, just in case we both have phones that need to be charged, laptops that need to be charged, what have you. And then this area right over here where these windows are is where our little sofa chair over there is going to go. It's a small space, but we've got outlet right there, another outlet right there, so that a guest can have an outlet on both sides. And then what we're going to do is right over here, this whole space is where our TV is going to go back. We're going to have an outlet right about here, an outlet right where that one is, so that we'd have a lot more space with putting electrical outlets.
And lamps and game video consoles and whatnot.
And we are definitely taking these decorative covers out, as you can see over here. So that way, because what we noticed is that we've got a 6-prong outlet cover. And we would put it right where this is, but then every time we'd hook everything up, then it'd get a little bit top heavy and it would fall out, and it was virtually pointless. So we're going to ditch the decorative covers. We're going to go with something a little bit more simple, a little bit easier to handle. So, all right. So what's been going on with these wires over here, Jamie?
Okay, so I'm trying to get this light up here to work. It never has worked.
Right.
The fan works, but the lights won't come on. So it's not hooked up right, somehow. So I'm up in the attic working, and over here, this is the breaker for the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then this breaker has this red line coming off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I figured out by getting shocked by it is that this red line goes into the ceiling and is not hooked up to anything. It just had a wire nut on it. The wire nut fell off and it accidentally touched me, and it shocked me. So I'm like, why do they have this even hooked up to a breaker if it's not going to anything?
Now, excuse me while I
It's not even going to that.
those red things, those little red caps, are those the wire nuts?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I'm learning all these
So
terminologies.
now I got to try to figure out how to, because I've never done this before. I have done switches, but I've never done a 3-way switch. So now I got to try to figure out how to wire the 3-way switch for the light, not for the fan. The fan will be running most of the time anyway, so I'm not going to worry about being able to turn it off. And if I do want to turn it off, I can turn it off with the chain.
Right.
But we want to be able to turn the light on and off from the switches. So
Right.
I got to wire that in somehow.
So this is all gonna be a work in progress. Right now, we're gonna focus a little bit on here. Eventually, we will have insulation be put up here. We are going to drywall everything.
Hopefully we'll
And-
have this insulation in by the end of summer.
Yes, because that way it'll help our electric bill out a lot.
It won't help this summer, which is when we needed it to help, but it is what it is, so.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed this brief update. We'll be back as soon as possible, especially after we get this installation done. I'll be back with 2 new videos. One is about, you know, a little introductory video on our new addition to the family. And the other one is going to show exactly what we did with the shiplap that had been on the 2 walls that are bare right now. So stay tuned. We will be back as soon as possible. Love you lots.